Hey everyone. So it's 12:30 in the morning. It's January 3rd, 2022. I'm here because I have some stuff on my mind. And I'm really surprised that I'm actually live streaming this. But here we are. My heart is racing. But I feel like sharing this will actually help get this negative energy out. Night one. That I am willing to publicly share. PTSD comes in variety. Nightmares, eating disorders, you name it. My anxiety's through the roof. I was sleeping. And then I was woken up. Some nights, the nightmares are so vivid. It's like the incident happened all over again. Sometimes I'm not sure what I should say, or how I should word it. That fear still lingers. And the fear of doing this live doesn't help. Sometimes I'll just sit here and I won't say anything. It's just like build and build and build. And I know that I'm not the only person in the world that feels like this, or that's going through this shit right now. I know that I'm not the only person who literally can just go to sleep and wake up and then they're crying. Mm-mm. I'm still kind of surprised that I'm doing this. I felt like I needed to do this for some reason. So, being in the situation that I was in, for whatever reason, the trauma as a child no longer seems to trump the current trauma. It's like, okay, I had all those years to deal with the childhood trauma, even though I really didn't deal with it. But this trauma that happened, the most recent trauma, that is the most memorable and most effective. or had most effect? What is that I was about to say? Sometimes it's true, you really don't know. People or the way that they handle situations. All you can know is how badly, like, someone always said your actions always, oh, what was it? Always have a reaction, one way or another. If you do something good or bad, there's always a consequence. There's always something that falls into place afterwards. But the most fucked up part is that the people that do it will never understand, even though they may have experienced their own trauma. They'll never understand what they actually did to someone else. If that makes sense. I need one person on this conversation with me right now, and she's not here. And I already know if she ever watches this video, she's going to know exactly who she is. You can't eat. You can't sleep. Sometimes I'm angry. Mostly I'm just timid now, which is really annoying. Have a hard time meeting new people. I have a tendency to attach myself. If I feel safe enough. Might not be fully. Something that I need to definitely not do. And so, number one rule of 2022. No more attaching myself to people. Praying for that. It's almost refreshing, kind of getting this off my chest. It's always good to have like good people in your corner too. It really does. Like, when you go through some serious shit as an adult, it's totally different. It's not the same. Like, is this how I felt when I was a kid? And all the shit that I went through? Like, because that's fucking crazy. And I'm not trying to fucking dwell on this shit forever. And I feel like if I didn't talk about it, I'm already in therapy. I'm already doing and working on the things I need to be working on for myself. But I wanted to share this for people that are just like me. That sit up late at night, that can't sleep, that are, constantly in their head, or, what about when they meet new people and because of the shit that they've been through, they don't know how to act all the time. So they worry. But then you have people that don't understand how to deal with people who have been through traumatic stuff. Or have dealt with their own traumatic shit. But can't deal with others, which is fine because maybe they can't even deal with their own. But it's about learning how to not let your trauma impact other people. I think that was a big lesson I learned last year. A really big lesson, actually. It almost feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders talking about this. I'm not done sharing my story. But there's also an extent that you don't need to share every single detail. I've been streaming for 22 minutes and I feel like I've brave, yeah. Courage. Like I said, I'm surprised I'm even doing this. Honestly. But I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel guilty. You also have to know your triggers. Pretty sure I triggered myself before I went to sleep. I took pictures till I want to say pretty much the bruises went away. So it probably didn't help that I looked at them today. But it wasn't also like I was, going through my pictures looking for those. Oh, hey, let's trigger ourselves or something. No. Do you want to speak on the topic, Squid? Mm. Sometimes. I mean, I didn't really find my calling, I guess. So I had a rough year, so I stopped live streaming for a while. So I'm kind of just back on here. This is the first live stream I think I've done in a month. And then before that, it'd been like, I don't even know, months. But thank you for subscribing if you did. Oh, yeah. That's why I wanted to share my story because I know I'm not alone. Oh no. That's not good. I hope you guys both feel better. I know everyone's had like a traumatizing year. I can believe it. I kind of feel like PTSD is kind of like grief. Sometimes your episodes just come in waves. I didn't really know that when someone dies that you're, close to or something too can give you PTSD as well. Learned a lot. I've had PTSD since I was a child, but it's different. I don't know how to describe it, but it's different when you're an adult. PTSD is totally different when you're, I mean, PTSD, trauma, and I don't know, this year just hit different. I did. I did. And then I fell asleep. So but I wasn't thinking about it when I fell asleep. Maybe not subconsciously. I swear I feel better when I get like 4 hours of sleep instead of going to sleep early. I want to know how many people have actually done or tried the MDMA trials for PTSD. So I've always been curious. Stuff like this is hard to explain to someone that you're trying to get to know or might be, you know, this is the raw version of me right now. Uncut, me doing my thing and actually literally expressing some deep shit that I normally wouldn't just come out and talk about. So you're supposed to be about stepping out of your comfort zone. Well, here I am. Because I'm very uncomfortable. Every noise I hear, everything. Like I thought my door just opened. You can't just randomly buzz my door. A lot of people have been doing that lately. Can't show up unannounced. I'll get high enough to, go to sleep. Thanks. But there's not enough weed in the fucking world that can, take away the fucking nightmares. So then I wake up and I'm fucking tired, and I'm still high, but I can't sleep. Mm. But they put me on medication for my PTSD, and then it fucked with my heart. How fucked up is that? Oh, thank you. Sometimes I would be smothered, not like to death, but you know, with love. And then I'm just like, oh no, I can't. It's like we want that love and we want that affection. But the smallest things can set us off. Make us push you out. I don't like if anybody yells, raises their voice. Because then I do it out of fear, and then it's a cycle. am confident enough to know that I do know what I want in my life now. I know that I don't want to live in this place of fear and this place of what that cycle where it's just constantly like, okay, you get forward and then you're triggered and it's like almost like it sets you backwards. I'm not trying to do that. So I'm here to break the cycle of like not talking about it. I met someone recently and he shared a lot. And I listened and I just thought about it. I'm like, oh, thinking about just sharing my story or anything. And I'm just like, wow, do you have anything positive that you can share from your life? No. Besides my kids now. But I feel like all the stories of like growing up and certain things are just traumatic. So it's like, oh, well, like why? Why would I want to share that? Damn, I need to put my glasses on. Mm. Damn, that light's fucking me up. Alright, whatever. Fear really does rule a lot of things, if not everything. So stepping out of my comfort zone and doing this, and it might be the start of breaking that cycle. I'm really sick and tired of living in fear, being afraid of everything, everyone, what they could do, what they'll say. I mean, I don't care what they think of me, but the fear of like the control that they could have, or some, I don't know, some, something like that. Sometimes when I'm anxious and I need to like get something out, I will literally just blurt however it comes out, it will come out however it sounds. That shit can be detrimental. The way you word things and how you say things, man. Because the people that you're talking to don't understand what you're feeling. And that's one thing I had to learn and understand is like when you want to say something, regardless of how you're feeling, you have to be considerate of how you're saying it. I'm not very good at that. So my anxiety will literally get the best of me. Especially if I'm like very passionate or emotional about the situation. Or if I like, once again, that's where the fear comes in. That fear of being anything, say, like, I wanted to ask a question. And instead of asking the question how I wanted to ask the question, my anxiety got the best of me. And I came off a very passive aggressive. Hmm. Now we just need to, well, I need to. I'm speaking for the people that probably act similar to me, if not the same. Gotta get out of that habit somehow. There's a will, there's a way. I feel like breaking the cycle is a little bit easier said than done. You have to be there mentally. I feel like I wouldn't be where I am at mentally if I wasn't watching a lot of these inspirational and motivational podcasts, to be quite honest. It really does have a lot to do with your mindset. So at the beginning of this video, I said that I wanted to talk about this, every time I'm feeling a certain type of way. Just release that energy. And it worked. It definitely helped tonight. So maybe this is it. And I hope anyone else who is watching this video, you can always reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, to your friends, someone that you trust. Sorry, I'm just trying to situate myself. Living with PTSD is exhausting. Just this past year, well, actually, since probably 2019. Oh man, I lost probably at least over 100 pounds in less than a year. I am at my smallest weight that I've ever been my entire life. And it's all from stress. I think that might be like why I require so much like reassurance. Which I used to kind of feel guilty about because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so annoying. And I'm like, no. I just need to cut it and dry. Always. I don't know if your comments are just coming in late or if I'm just slow. It's definitely about mind control. You have to control your own thoughts. That's for sure. Like so I felt like if I didn't talk about this, that the thoughts were literally going to consume me. And it's not the same talking to the same people about it. But having this, you can see that this is one of the many episodes I've had. PTSD talking about. No. And that they are manageable. If you're aware and you get the help that you need. I'm very vocal now. Well, sort of, yes. If you're around me in person, or if you even get lucky enough to come around me, I may or may not talk, but that's okay as long as you are like whoever's around me. This is just general. I'm very choosy about who I have around me. People can show you who they are and, you know, give you a good game, and all of a sudden behind closed doors there's someone else. So now I'm very careful. It's not just me who I'm protecting. This last year has really opened my eyes to a lot of different shit. My mindset is totally different. So that's one thing I can say. Thank you for that. Pretty sure you know who you are. But the sad thing is I still don't hate. Okay, that's not true. I tried to not hate him for the shit that he did. That's just hard. Shit, that shit is hard. And I think it hit differently for me because we were best friends. So not only do I get the triggers of, you know, damn, I can't read that. It's probably something stupid. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, damn, I'm not trying to fucking. um, okay, whatever. But man, I'm tired of thinking about this shit. But I could be in a great mood. One thing, one tiny little thing, like a fucking beer cap I found under the fucking fridge. Or just being in the bathroom. Hi. Hold on, I can't read. Hello. Shut up. Wow. Um, thank you. Thank you. Damn, that guy fucking before distracted me from what I was saying. Tonight we're talking about what it's like to have PTSD and trauma. Like what my episode was like tonight. Just kind of sharing my story a little bit. A little nerve-wracking, but here we are. Appreciate you. It's kind of crazy. We were talking about earlier what it's like to have PTSD and all that, like to go through a traumatic event as a child compared to like a traumatic event as an adult. How old are you? Abuse, domestic violence, and some other stuff as a kid. You're over 40? I'm publicly thanking him because at the end of the day, I know who he is and I know what came out was his trauma, but it doesn't justify and it doesn't solidify my place of staying there and allowing that shit to continue. It was him or my kids. And that's one thing I will always choose above anyone, any person, them before anyone. I had to teach myself breathing tricks to stay alive because I felt like I was dying. Sorry to hear that late to the fallout. And I honestly really don't want my trauma to overflow into my children like it already has, any more than it has already. Oh, I don't feel bad about that. I don't feel bad at all. I'm happy. Like, I had the courage to leave, and I went back. Of course I did. And then, and then another small incident happened. Not as major as the one that made me leave in the first place. And then another one happened. And I was like, no. Exactly. It's the healing. It's the processing because of the constant reminders, the fear. It's literally that. But what's the scariest part is, I'm aware of all of this. Get the fuck out of here, Julian. Very always on edge. I always sit protect like as if I'm protecting myself. Or if I go into a grocery store, I literally look for every single exit possible in case I have to run for whatever reason. I can't allow someone else to drive my car or be in the car with someone else unless I absolutely know them. If I don't have some sort of control over my safety or my ability to leave, I can't do it. And I won't. For the first time in years, probably, I spent the night at someone else's house. And I was okay. Even Indian style, like cross-legged. I mean, I'm at home. I guess I could relax. I was on YouTube this morning, just browsing. It slipped my mind, but I was actually looking for videos to kind of teach myself how to chill because I'm just always on edge. I feel like the first thing I want to do when I'm being attacked is just run. So that's why my legs are always ready to just go. I'm always in a position to just move. And people don't understand that it's not me being uptight, it's me being afraid. I do too. I sleep like this. Like I could literally make my bed in less than a minute because I sleep on one side in one position unless I'm having a nightmare. But even then, I really don't move. It's kind of like I stay in this one spot. Pretty sure it's one of my defense mechanisms, but I'm not really sure. Funny, funny enough, I used to never really be able to have my legs near me like this. I was a bigger girl. Now I'm not a big girl at all. Right. I'm just always ready. Always ready to go. It's it's frustrating because, there will be small things you know, that just set you off. That just, blow up your mind. When you're really just trying to have breakfast with your kids. And then all of a sudden you catch yourself crying for like an hour. And you're just like, oh my gosh, stop it. Like, that's all you want. Well, that's all I want. So then I'll get even more upset. But I'm upset about the shit that's already over with. No, that's what I'm exactly. That's why letting this go and getting this out is really helpful. That frustration, that negative energy, that bullshit, I'm releasing that now. But I wanted other people to know that they weren't alone. Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to teach my children that it's okay to cry. You know, it's okay to cry about it for the moment, but don't let it hold you back. I appreciate that. And that's one thing I wish I was taught. It's definitely okay to talk about how you feel. Don't ever fucking hold that back. You just have to learn how to like be healthy about it. So that's why it's kind of nice that I'm learning as I go now as an adult. And I'm open minded, I'm open to it. So I'm actually able to absorb what I'm trying to instill in my children as well. So I don't want to raise sons that, do the same shit because they can't talk about how they feel. We don't hit women. We don't attack women. We don't do stuff like that because we don't know how to communicate or we don't know how to deal with our trauma. I want my boys to know that when you have a problem, you deal with it and you don't take it out on other people. Same goes for my girls too, though. It'll go for all four of my kids. How do I know they're listening? I mean, I feel like they're always going to be listening to me, even if I don't think they are. But if they don't want to talk to me at that time, how do I know they're listening? One second, guys. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. just hope that it works out that way, I guess. But I mean, I'm always going to talk to them. Always going to explain stuff. My kids are always going to know that they can come to me no matter what. And that's the relationship I'm trying to build with all of my kids. That comfortability that, them knowing, all right, mom, yeah, mom's good. Mom's got me. They need that stability. And that's why I'm working so hard on my mental health. Oh, my oldest is about to be 10. So I'm sure that's coming in just a few more years. But I am prepared for it if it happens now. So, but, I just hope it's not going to happen this early. I thought about joining maybe some support groups. And I'm like, for whatever reason, I didn't want to be around other people that were like me. I wanted to be, but I didn't want to be. Like, I called the domestic violence hotline, and I had everything in my head that I wanted to say, how I was feeling, all of that. And then they answered. And I'm like, damn. Like, I don't want to talk to you now. Or maybe it was because I didn't know what to say, or because I'm like, do you even understand where I'm at? Yes, you work for the crisis center and all of that, but have you been in my position before? And I don't want to ask personal questions like that, but it's like, do you understand where I'm at? Do you understand where I'm coming from? That's kind of like, I think, where I got stuck at. So I was just like, I don't know what to say. And they said, okay. Well, that's why we're here. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's like, I want to ask you, do you know what it's like to be through the shit that I've been through? And maybe right now I'm not necessarily ready to publicly say what I've been through, but all right, what's your name first? I don't, if you don't mind. But I feel like you've already said that you've experienced similar stuff. Nice to meet you, Sheree. So it's like, okay, so if you were an advocate at on the DV line, and I'm talking to you, okay, my first instinct is to be like, okay, how do I know I can trust you? First of all, how do I know that you don't have contact with my abuser or some weird off the wall shit? I'm sure I'm not alone. But then I'm like, well, how the fuck are you going to give me advice if you haven't been through this? Sure, you can give me the basics of like, I understand. I will help you get through this. I'm here for you type shit. But I want it. For me, it's deeper than that. You don't trust. Trust is earned. Exactly. I don't trust anybody. So then I'm like, all right. Then I want to ask you the questions like, have you been choked out? Have you been trapped before? Have you been through this? Have you been, whatever? And then I feel guilty for wanting to ask those questions because I'm like, damn, that's not who you are. You don't that's not the type of person you are. How am I supposed to talk to you? And I've never met you and you work for the crisis center. I don't know if you're certified. I don't know anything about you. So I hung up. And I bottled that shit up for months and I didn't talk about it. I didn't talk about the nightmares. I didn't talk about the random crying episodes. I didn't talk about just, every time I would drive to work, I would hit this one area and I would cry for a good 20 or 30 minutes. I could be in the best mood, not even in a bad mood. And I would just cry. But you're a person with feelings too. And that's why, like, I feel like it's partly a flaw because I always take now. Mm, the random tears, the just like, or because this shit's still at my fucking house. And I should just throw away. But and it's like you can repeatedly repeat yourself, explain yourself, but why should you have to? Why should you have to explain yourself for the way you are? Especially to the person that made you the way you are. Oh no, yeah. Like if I don't cry now, I know that's where a lot of my anxiety comes from is that I would fight it. I would fight trying to to cry because I don't know if I was ashamed. It made me feel weak. I'm not sure where I learned that from, because I've always been extremely emotional. But I went for, I think after my dad died in 2018, I didn't cry. And then all of 2020, I cried. But do we have to? But why? Like, why do we have to? That's what I wanna know is, like, why do we owe anybody an explanation? Like, I feel like we don't owe anyone anything besides to be good people. I I was fucked up when my dad died, and we weren't even close. Like, we were, but we weren't. He left when I was young. Mostly, I feel like it was partly a lot of my mom's doing, but whatever. But, we had a relationship over the phone. You know, we saw each other when we could, but that's what's up. Like, I was so fucked up when my dad died. I think that's really when everything started with all my, like, weight loss and my health issues from all the stress. I literally went a whole almost 2 years now having a fucked up eating habit where I can't eat. I've been in and out of the doctors, everything. I just can't eat. I smoke so fucking much, and that's the only thing that gets me to eat a little bit, enough to keep me basically alive. Man, my best friend, we're not talking right now. I still love that bitch. Like, when I get into you think she knows me by now, but no judgment. But when I get into like a really depressive state, I'll cut everyone off. I won't talk to people or anything. Yeah, exactly. And it's not because I don't want to. It's like, I'll be hungry. I'll be so hungry. And then I'm good after. And then I'll just be up for hours. And it doesn't help that this is actually the time that everything started. So this is fresh. Oh. Were you always small though? It's hard to share your story with people that you're trying to get to know too, though. Because you're like, oh, especially if they're doing really well. Because you're like, oh, I'm a whole fucking basket case. I don't want to, I don't want to bring my fucking bullshit into your life. And you seem like you have your life, pretty good. Like, not, might have worked really hard to get where they're at or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, it's not that I'm not worthy of being around or in that group of people. It's like, all right, well, if you want to know me, there's a bunch of shit that you're going to know. And I'm just afraid that it's going to overflow into your life. And I'm not really okay with that. So I tend to avoid meeting new people. Yep. You got shit to do? Mm-hmm. The same way. It's like, or I'll just, maybe sometimes I'll forget to eat. Not on purpose or anything like that, but I feel like this video, were you taught that? Or did you do that to yourself? Like, I feel like that's something that could have been taught to you. Chores come before breakfast? Or is that just something that you decided to do? I mean, for me, that's how I am. Make sure that if I even want to cook anything, my kitchen has to be clean. Can't, I can only clean so much, especially when I don't have much space. It does. It really just, it really does just make sense. Exactly. And all, like, if I have anybody, anyone, doesn't matter who, like, oh, sorry, my house is dirty. And I'm like, what do you mean? To me, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I pride too much in being a perfectionist. Once again, I always bring that back to fear. I feel like this is a big step towards not being afraid anymore. Literally just about to hit, almost the 2-hour mark on this live stream about my PTSD. I'm kind of proud of myself that I stepped out of my box. Hey, I can't lie, I've been there. I've been there. Especially when you have young kids and you're just like, ugh. And it was just vacation too, so thank you. Like, I definitely didn't take my trash out for like 2 days. I definitely should have. But it's hard with 2 kids, you know, living on the 3rd floor. I was just trying to figure it out because I'm literally afraid of everything now. So I'm like, oh, it's raining. I don't want my kids to get sick because school's about to start again. I can't leave them upstairs. Thank you. You're a fucking clown. Oh, thank you. I don't understand why people feel the need. Yes, yes, I hear you. Oh my god, I hear you. I love my kids. They've been great, but they're more so at each other, and that's what's getting me. Because I'm like, dude, why are you guys fighting over this? My youngest was like, you're literally not my friend anymore because I can't get the tractor. I'm just like, okay, yeah, it's definitely time for school. So, stepping out was definitely a hard choice, but a good choice. I'm definitely pretty happy I did this. Man, it's just hmm. I feel like I'm able to slowly, like, start letting go. Oh, yeah. Mhm. I had a 3-year-old. I mean, wow, a 4-year-old. I have a 3-year-old now. Oh, that's good, though. That's good. You know, I think the thing that I'm struggling with a little bit more than ever right now is my friend who passed away recently. He really helped me actually with the situation that I was in. Ugh. So his name was Dan. And he really, really, really impacted my life. Because he was one of the people that stood by my side during the whole situation that I went through with being, hurt and stuff. He supported me. He told me, like, there's probably maybe a group of people that, and he was one of them. He was a big influence. So it's a little bit of a struggle right now that he's gone. But I know that he's up there watching over like all of us. So and it's always something to remember that you're not always the only person going through something. A lot of people suffer in silence. And I was suffering in silence for a long time. Always. That's why my whole mindset has changed and I'm sticking by it. I just remember his just positive outlook on life. Damn right we can. And we definitely will. Can't believe it's 2:30. And I'm really just, to be honest, I am afraid to go to sleep. And that's something I don't know how to break yet. Or find ways to help me get through that. That's one thing I'm not sure how to do yet. Hmm. Ambien enhances the dreams. Anything that puts me into a deep, deep sleep where I can actually dream. Um, a few months ago, it was weird. Lucid dreaming is real. And I walked myself to sleep. It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. Like, the weirdest thing. Like, it startled me, like, completely awake. Like, I was asleep, but my mind was awake. And I feel crazy saying it out loud, but it happened. So it's kind of just, sometimes that works. As long as they're funny, yeah. Or I'll try to listen to like a inspirational. Like that walking myself to sleep shit was fucking bro. Oh my god. That shit was so wild. I literally laid in bed and I knew I fucking passed out. But my body was sleeping. For some reason I thought I was still awake. Until everything was like pitch black. And I see like this kind of like light or whatever the fuck it was. And I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I got startled the fuck awake because I'm like, I was walking and there was light, and then all of a sudden the light started dimming out, and all of us like, but I wasn't just walking. It was kind of like I was walking really fast at some point, and I'm like, yep, no, I'm done. And I woke up. Whatever the fuck it was. Can you just shut the fuck up, you fucking weird ass fucking people? No, no. But yeah, that shit was weird. So I'm like, I don't really know if I want to go to sleep. Like the other night, I had a really vivid dream. Yeah. See, that's fucking wild. That shit's fucking crazy. But my friend was telling me, like, if you can learn how to control that shit, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know about that. Exactly. Like, I knew I was like, I know I'm in bed. Like, I could feel I was in bed. And that was the weirdest shit, too, because I'm like, oh, what? I just woke up and I fucking looked around. I'm like, okay, this is this isn't it. Hmm. Shit's just, mm-mm. Yeah, let's look it up. Hmm. All right, let's look for a more simple. So, a lucid dream is a type of dream where the dreamer becomes aware that they are dreaming. During a lucid dream, the dreamer may gain some amount of control over the dream characters, narrative, or environment. However, this is not actually necessary for a dream to be described as lucid. So what? Oh, so interesting fact. The most common reasons for inducing lucid dreams include wish fulfillment, overcoming fears, and healing. Some studies have also shown a link between inducing lucid dreams and overcoming the fear and distress associated with nightmares. Oh, so, hmm, that kind of makes me feel like everything kind of happens for a reason. You know what I mean? Hmm. It's almost 3 a.m. They do. Yeah, that's that's my problem too. Reading them. My one of my therapists used to say that if you have a dream, to make sure you have a notebook right next to you. So that way, before you stand up or sit up and put your feet on the ground, you write your dream down in the notebook, because typically when you put your feet on the floor, the moment you put your feet on the floor, you forget your dream. How do you mean? Like, because I'll wake up happy sometimes, but then I'll wake up in a bad mood or something, and I'm like, damn, did I have a bad dream? Or, you know, something like that, because for months I was waking up in horrible mood every day. I was having, obviously, nightmares, and I just didn't really know, because I can't remember my dreams. So if I'm having night terrors and I don't know, that sucks. Hmm. I thought, mm, yeah, and sometimes you just have them. Mine started when I was, shit, I don't even know. I think mine started when I was probably, I had to have been like 17 or 18, I think. Maybe I was a little bit older. I think it's when I met my ex, where he actually told me I had like these episodes where I just like wake up screaming. Yep, exactly. I don't know if I talk in my sleep. I don't think so. Unless I'm like actually having like a nightmare. It's typically the same one from back then. Now it's variety. It's multiple. Never know which one I'm gonna get when I go to sleep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Heart racing like you're literally repeating whatever the fuck you're screaming about. Mine's mostly running from everything, so. Typically, I have a dream about where I'm screaming for help and everyone's looking at me, but no one can hear me. So they don't know that I need help. But once again, this is shit I don't talk about. This is stuff I don't speak about. And I can guarantee you that if you were to, private message me or try to reach out to me in a couple days and try and talk to me, I might not want to talk about it. I probably won't want to talk about it. Because hopefully at that point I'll be like, okay, this is part one. This is living with it. This is, you know, I appreciate that. And then the next video I would like to make is what I'm doing to change it. What I'm doing to work on getting out of this. So I think that's what I'll do. And I know I'm sure there's probably going to be videos in between. Following my healing journey, I guess. I sent you my Instagram. I think maybe. Maybe at 2.5 hours. I might be able. I am all that. Yes. Amen, girl. I hope you feel that way about yourself too. You know, at first I was mad about like going through this year by myself. But I'm actually really happy. Oh, good. Hey, I just had to make sure. Some people, give that advice even if they don't feel that way about themselves. Mm. I'll live through all of it. Almost dying like 3 times this year, or last year. So this year is definitely that year this year's for me. For sure. One way or another. Oh, one second. Have you always been this positive, Sheree? Mm. True. Mm. Your parents. Mm. Yep. And you don't want to. What you're gonna do if a guy? Yeah. Same. That's not a good example of me at 14. That's not what you do. Huh. Mm. Like playfully? Because I remember that shit as a kid too, growing up. Oh, if they like you, they'll like hit you or make fun of you and call you names and try and like pull your hair. And I'm just like, that means they like me? Mm. You walk away. Unless you're defending yourself. Mm. Mm. Nowadays, we got to teach our kids younger. We can't wait till late teens. We have to actually teach our girls. It's not about sex. That, it's not, it's more than that. Just because he likes you doesn't mean you have to take your clothes off. Because that's what he wants you to do. I want my girls to know that no matter what he asks you to do, if you don't want to do it and you know you shouldn't be doing it, don't do it. You should only be doing shit that you're comfortable with and at an age that's appropriate. I don't want my girls or my boys seeking attention from other people that they shouldn't be seeking it from. Could be inevitable, but there are preventative things that I can do to try and make sure that they don't go down that path, at least. You just have to be willing to put that work in for your kids. But I am at the 2.5 hour mark, a little bit over, actually. So I think I am going to end this here, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you, Sheree, for being amazing. Keep in touch.